great rabbis of yesteryear. Now, today we are concentrating on a really great Moroccan rabbi from Casablanca. His name was Rabbi David Buskila Z'tl, one of the great rabbis of the 1900s in Morocco, and very much had great positions in the land as well. His Hilula is Yud Aleph Tevet, the 11th of Tevet. He was one of the great rabbis of Morocco. He would become the head, let's just say, of the Otzar Torah network of schools in Morocco. I think it was also based in France in itself, in various different congregations. This school system, Torah school system, shined through in Morocco in of itself, respectively. Now, he's famous for writing a translation book, I believe, of the Tanya of the Rebbe in Arabic, very, very fascinating enough. And he actually, I think, met with the Lubavitcher Rebbe personally on many occasions, and he spoke about him on a very high esteem in of itself. He had close relationships with various different, especially Chabad rabbis and all rabbis throughout various different places. So I believe he was born in the year 1932, and he was an elder son of a very respected family in Casablanca in of itself. I believe his father was called Rabbi Moshe Buskila, very, very great rabbi. He would eventually get married to Rabbanit Esther, that was the name of his wife. He would get married to there, and then he would become part, let's say, head the Otzar Torah network in Morocco, respectively, and was considered one of the most important rabbis in his moment in Morocco in of itself. For many, many dozens of years, he would be. I think also he was very close with his uncle, Rabbi Yaakov Buskila, also very, very great rabbis. And we mentioned about the great Bosquila family on various occasions. They had important meetings. I believe he established a very large library in his house, also in of itself. I believe Rabbi Yehuda Leib Raskin promoted initially an Arabic translation of the Tanya, and he chose Rabbi Bosquila, actually, who was fluent in both Arabic and, let's say, Hebrew scriptures in itself, to begin to study the Tanya in of itself and to actually translate it. I think it was a project that took several years, but he would become the translator and and work alongside with another great Rabbi Eliyahu Asayag, who I think handwritten the translations in of itself. I think it was a long process. There was a lot of correspondence between the Lubavitcher Rebbe's emissaries in Morocco, and they actually brought about, I believe it was very interesting enough, very widely documented, and the Shar HaYechud Va'emunah, very interesting enough, and very, very great work in of itself, I think. And I would recommend everyone to look into that, to actually get a copy of that book in of itself. And so that actually naturally, he would encourage very much as part of encouraging and the completion of this work and the remaining parts of the Tanya in of itself. And I believe this entire project lasted 5 years. He entered the Lubavitcher's rooms and had private meetings also with him. Even speaks about him at the highest esteem, saying about what a wonderful job Rabbi Buskila actually did when translating the Tanya in of itself. And saying that this actually breaks like the klipa, the shell of Ishmael in of itself, when you're doing holy work like this in of itself. It's actually interesting. He was corresponding with many of the great rabbis of yesteryear from Morocco, especially the famous Rabbi Shalom Ashash, we've spoken about on various occasions before. He was very, very apparently influenced by the greatness of Rabbi Mashash. Also famous Rabbi Monsinego, another great rabbi, I believe, of Morocco. I believe he was chief rabbi, if I'm not mistaken. And they were very, very close together. He served in the rabbinate also in several communities in Morocco, I believe also in France, if I'm not mistaken. Also, he helped assist various different communities, especially including Chabad institutions, if I'm not mistaken. Now, he would spend the latter part of his life moving to Jerusalem, to the Bayit of a Gan neighborhood over there. I think he would actually open a community, a kehila there, called the Imrei David one, which included the David Moshe Abraham Kollel network in of itself, a proper kollel for the people over there in of itself. Now, it's actually interesting. He had a close family. I think his brother-in-law was Rabbi Shimon Gad Elitov, one of the great rabbis, let's just say, of Jerusalem. I think he was a prominent Chabad rabbi, actually, interestingly enough. Now, he had his son, great Rabbi Gad Buskila. He's rabbi of the Moroccan community in Flatbush if I'm not mistaken. Included among his, included among his children also is his daughter, Marat Miriam Alkis. I think she is actually based in Paris in France. Another one of his sons, Rabbi Asher Buskila, he's based in Beit Began in Jerusalem. Another one of his daughters, Rabbanit Ruth Senior. Very interesting. I think she also is based in France. And then there's Rabbi Dan Buskila, also based in New York, if I'm not mistaken. Another one of his sons, Rabbi Uri Buskila, is in Ma'alot. Rabbi Moshe Buskila in Flatbush, naturally, which we mentioned about before, this great place with a great Torah community. Rabbi Amram Buskila, also in Flatbush in New York. And I think his daughter, Rabbanit Yael Rutznama, she is based in Kiryat Yeraim, that's popularly known as Tellstone. And his other son, Rabbi Aaron Arik Buskila, also based in Beit Began, so left very in Jerusalem, naturally. So left many great descendants in of itself. He was a very great rabbi, great Moroccan rabbi from Casablanca. We've already related over various different great chachamim from Casablanca of his day. He was very well connected all throughout the different communities across the world, not just exclusively to the Moroccan communities, especially the Chabad communities and various other different places. It's very much, he was a very great rabbi of his day. And we've covered, as we stated before, about 25 rabbis from Casablanca already. We've probably covered already more than 100 great chachamim from Morocco on this series over here. Just shows he passed away, I believe, in the English year 2020. This would mean he would have been approximately 88 years of age at the time when he passed away, the great Chacham. And don't forget to light candles in the great rabbi's memory, because he was really very much a great Chacham. And I believe it was on around the 8th of January, I believe, or in 2020, maybe 7th of January. So we're actually in the year 2025 at the moment. So it was actually 5 years ago from the time of recording. And he was buried in the Har HaMenuchot, the Mount of Rest Cemetery in Jerusalem. That's where he was. So please don't forget to light candles in memory. Wishing you all well and take care.